David Foltz is locally inspired. He's a local musician who enjoys people and life and culture. And now, Rachel, usually all at once. He has just been married in North Germany to that woman previously mentioned, and is looking forward to a wonderful new chapter in his journey filled with friends, neighbors, family, and the love of Nova Scotia, the Maritimes, and Canada.
You washed your hair, thank you.
I did wash my hair.
I'm feeling very proud to be Canadian.
That was for you, by the way.
The Galaxy,
Have a seat.
and the
Yeah,
Internet, ladies and gentlemen, the handsome David Foltz.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's locally inspiraled, actually, but I figured that there would be confusion with it because that's not a word. The universe is so friggin' big that it doesn't make sense to talk about at all. Because, like, to compare it to anything, it's like talking about God. Like, for me, for God to exist, God would have to not exist at the same time, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So, you know, I'm just going to talk about something a little bit more local, like our galaxy. Our galaxy is a spiral galaxy. It's basically a disk where, like, gas, stars, and space dust, whatever that is, spirals around a central point, or in our case, and in other cases, it's a bar. And these bars are called stellar nurseries. This is an example of a stellar nursery, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that looks like something. And I just saw, like, kind of like a head, a mouth, an eye, kind of a fist towards a third eye almost, of like, kind of like a baby. And I was like, well, that looks like a baby. I'm gonna look up pictures of feet, like an unborn fetus. What does that look like? Oh my god, most of them look like that. That is really strange. It's a really crazy example of how the immense correlates with the local, and how you can make these connections in all of life. Like, take the Fibonacci sequence, for example. I don't know if I studied math for a while, but I don't know if anyone else knows this or is familiar with it. But like 1, 1, 2, it's basically a pattern of which is a spiral that is involved in all of life.
Ridiculous. Basically,
like there's so many examples of it. With flowers, like beautiful roses, I don't know what it looks like, a sunflower, shells. It's just, like, it's so amazing that life can be so involved with everything you do, and just like the order, the chaotic design that a lot of people have been starting to use with their business models and that. And a sine wave, I was just picturing this, like, a sine wave is the most basic form of wave that I know. I could be wrong because I'm not a scientist. I'm a musician, so I don't really know very much. But this is a sine wave with respect to time. It's basically an energy current. And what I was thinking was, like, yeah, when you look at something really far away, that spot, like that circle that it creates, is getting smaller and smaller. So with respect to time, which we create, it's a spiral. And what I want to do is create like a spiral philosophy, or what I want to ask people to do is kind of think about spirals in their philosophy. And when people think about spirals, they think of spiraling out of control, like spiraling, just like going down into the abyss, like getting caught in a whirlpool, and how devastating that can be, and how scary it is. But and you get to the bottom, you just like, oh god, I give up. Like I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't know where I am anymore. I'm dizzy and I'm at the bottom of some crazy thing. And that's the kind of general thought around spirals. But what I want people to think about, and what I think about is, like, there's so much information coming into your brain at all times, and it's basically like infinite amount of energy coming into your brain through all these levels of consciousness, kind of spiraling in to a point where it goes past your subconscious and gets sorted, and it goes into like some other kind of consciousness, and then finally becomes this idea, this like single idea that you know as your consciousness, and it's like it's something that you can act on. And acting on something is like kind of a strange thing. I'm forgetting where I am in my slides right now, but it is very strange. It's like basically, what I want people to do is like think of the spiral as like coming in, but using that nexus to spiral out again, and just always like use their idea, their self, as the nexus of their spiraling out. And I want people to just spiral, like use your energy to spiral out and catch on to other people who are like you and who make you feel good, and basically like create this atmosphere that you enjoy and they will enjoy and everyone will eventually enjoy. And like acting on something is really strange. It basically takes a lot of courage to stand alone. You know, and it's like it's to put yourself out there as an individual and have your core being scrutinized by everybody is terrifying. But how can you be happy, really? And how can you believe in things around you if you don't? Because whatever you believe in, whatever is going on around you, if you don't believe in it, then you're not going to participate in it enough to make it work. And so what I want to kind of get across here is, you know, kind of like a localization of self and a localization of priorities. And when people talk about, like, people say, like, I can't do that. Like, you do what you want, and it's great, and you're having a great time, but I can't do that. I have a job, I have all these commitments, and, you know, people say, like, your vote doesn't count anymore. It's where you spend your money. But where does your money come from? It comes from your job, where you spend your time. And basically, time, I think, is what really matters. Like, when you talk, when I'm thinking about government sectors and how this applies to them in my mind, public engagements like this, like where they ask people in a certain community what they want in that community, sparks something that they can do in that community, and then people will want to invest their time in that, volunteer, make it cheaper, and work together to make something incredible, and maybe spiral out to this incredible energy that encircles the whole world, and maybe like our world will create an energy that will encircle the whole galaxy, maybe the galaxy will encircle the whole universe. Who knows? And like when you get to this point where the universe is this singularity, that's the beginning of a new universe. And like for people who believe in an immortal soul or reincarnation, it's all the same thing. We're going to be right back here where we started, and that's amazing. That's what life is about.
Ow!